You are officially an alligator. Congratulations. Or rather, my condolences. Your reputation is that of a living dinosaur, an invincible survivor. What a joke. Your life isn't an epic tale of survival. It's a comedy of errors that's been going on for 65 million years. Your scientific name, alligator mississippiensis. Alligator comes from the Spanish el lagarto, the lizard, and mississippiensis means from the Mississippi River. Your scientific identity is basically big lizard from the famous river. Wow, your prehistoric origin puts you in a weird position. You are an archosaur, from the same group as dinosaurs and birds. That's right, you are genetically more closely related to a chicken than to a common lizard. Except while your feathered cousins went off to conquer the skies, you stayed stuck in the swamp, not evolving properly for millions of years. You aren't a survivor, you're an evolutionary repeater. You're just good enough not to die, but terrible at actually living well. Your body is full of legacy code, old parts that work poorly and inefficiently. You are a walking museum of biological workarounds. And your life begins. The worst of these biological workarounds defines who you are even before you're born. Male or female? Who decides? Your genes. Chance? No. The climate decides. Welcome to temperature-dependent sex determination, TSD, nature's most idiotic game of Russian roulette. It works like this. Your mother builds a giant nest of rotten grass and mud, real charming, and lays about 40 eggs inside. The heat from the decomposing grass is what will hatch you. And here's the punchline. The temperature inside the nest during a few crucial weeks decides your sex. If it's warmer, between 32.5 degrees Celsius and 33 degrees Celsius, congratulations, it's a boy. If it's cooler, below 31.5 degrees Celsius, or very hot, above 35 degrees Celsius, tough luck, it's a girl. A tiny range to be male, all the rest to be female. Think of the stupidity of this. A heavy rain at the wrong time can cool the nest and turn a brood of future tough guys into an all-girl group. A heat wave, the opposite. Your sex isn't destiny, it's a weather forecast. This screws up the entire population. Sometimes too many males are born, and there's a shortage of females to court. Fight, in your case. Sometimes the opposite. It's a system designed to fail. And when you finally hatch, after about 2 months incubating in this compost heap oven, your mother might even help you out, a rare moment of reptilian affection. You let out some cute little chirps, and then the massacre begins. You are born the size of a TV remote, and the entire world sees you as an appetizer. Raccoons, birds, large fish, and of course other bigger alligators. Your family. The adults eat you. Your siblings are competitors or future snacks. You live in groups with your mother for a while, but it's more for her security than out of love for you. Your childhood is about surviving the climate lottery and then the cannibalism lottery. Well, you survived. Congratulations. But you've become a log. A floating log with teeth and a bad temper. That's your appearance. Long, low, covered in armor that would make a medieval knight jealous. Your skin isn't just thick leather, it has bony plates inside, the osteoderms. You are literally armored. An arrow, a spear, would probably ricochet. You are a biological tank. And your engine? Your tail is pure, powerful muscle that propels you through the water like a torpedo. And on land, it works like a club. A swipe from your tail can break the leg of a large animal or a stupid human who got too close. Your short, strong legs are kinda useless for running on solid ground, but great for dragging yourself out of the mud or for giving you that explosive push in the water. Your entire body was made for one thing, wading in the water, looking like a harmless log, until something tasty or annoying gets close enough. And when something gets close, your main weapon goes into action. Your mouth. Oh, your mouth. It's not just the 80 pointy teeth that look like they came out of a nightmare. It's the force. Your bite is one of the most powerful on the planet. A natural hydraulic press capable of crushing a turtle's shell or the bones of an unsuspecting mammal like they were crackers. Your teeth aren't made for slicing. They're made for grabbing and crushing. How lovely. But here comes the greatest irony of your prehistoric Rambo body. You, the armored tank, the bone crusher, have the most sensitive face in the animal kingdom. More sensitive than a human fingertip. Your jaw is covered by thousands of little black dots. The so-called ISOs, integumentary sensory organs. Each of these dots is a super sensor for pressure and vibration. You can feel a single raindrop falling into the water meters away. It's like having a million microphones and touch sensors spread across your face. What for? To find food in murky water, of course. And for being delicate? Believe it or not, this crushing mouth with super-sensitive sensors allows your mother to carry her hatchlings in her mouth without turning them into pate. But imagine living like this in a noisy, dirty swamp with a face that feels everything. Every little fish passing by, every leaf falling, every vibration. It can't be peaceful. It must be torture, a constant sensory overload. You are an armored brute with the sensitivity of a neurosurgeon. Yet another cruel joke from evolution. Okay, your journey to find food is the definition of patience, or extreme laziness. You don't run after your dinner. You are the dinner waiting to happen. Your tactic, become a log. Literally. You just float there in the water, immobile, with only your eyes and nostrils out. Remember the periscope design? For hours, days if needed. You are a floating stone with teeth, waiting for the perfect victim. And who is the perfect victim? Basically anything stupid enough to get close to the water's edge to drink or swim. It could be a distracted fish, a slow turtle, a water bird, a raccoon, a thirsty deer, even dogs or other smaller alligators. Cannibalism. Hi, your menu is defined by others' bad luck. When the victim gets close, then you show what this armored torpedo body is for. An explosive attack. You launch yourself out of the water with absurd speed, your mighty maw snapping shut with that hydraulic press of yours. And then begins the part that's really fun for you. Of course, your famous death roll. Since your teeth are made for grabbing and crushing, not for cutting, you have a dirty trick for dismembering larger prey. You bite down hard and start spinning your body in the water like an out-of-control blender. You spin and spin and spin until you tear off a chunk. It's brutal, it's efficient, and it's probably really disgusting to watch. After turning the victim into pieces, or if it's small enough, you don't chew. You swallow it whole. The fur, the turtle shell, everything goes down, tearing through your throat. Your mouth wasn't made for savoring, it was made for swallowing. And then comes the other part of your life of waiting, digestion. Your reptile metabolism is crazy slow. A large meal can take days, or even weeks to digest. After eating a feast, like that unlucky deer, you basically enter a food coma. You lie there, basking in the sun or floating in the water, looking even more like a useless log while your superacidic stomach. Yes, your stomach is almost as potent as a vulture's, slowly dissolves your victim. Your feeding life is this marvel. Wait for hours, pretending to be a log, explode in a surprise attack, turn the victim into a macabre milkshake with the death roll, swallow everything whole, and then spend days in a digestive coma, waiting for hunger to return to start it all over again. What an exciting cycle. Well, your adult life, after surviving your cannibalistic family, remains solitary. You don't form gangs or packs. You are a king or queen in your own patch of mud. And woe to whoever invades. You are ridiculously territorial. That aquatic bar of yours is yours, period. Any other alligator that gets too close gets a warning. Or worse, how do you talk to your fellow gators? With sounds that seem like a choking engine, threatening hisses, and your sonic signature, the bellow. A guttural, deep sound that makes the water vibrate around you. It's not a hi, it's a get out of here. It's your way of announcing to the world that you are big, mean, and not accepting visitors. And if the bellow doesn't work, then things get ugly. Fights between alligators, especially males during mating season, are brutal. Bites that tear off chunks, death rolls against each other. Many older alligators are full of scars, or are missing legs and parts of their tails. Your social life is a constant cold war that heats up easily. And your greatest enemy is often another alligator. Remember childhood? That rule of the bigger one eats the smaller one? It never ends. Cannibalism continues into adulthood. A big alligator won't think twice before turning a smaller one into lunch. Your society has no laws. It has a menu. And you are always either hunting or at risk of being hunted by your own species. What a beautiful community. But here comes the most ironic, and perhaps the saddest part of your existence. You are not stupid. Far from it. Forget that idea of a primitive reptile brain. Your brain is surprisingly complex. You learn fast. You solve problems. There's even a famous story about an alligator in captivity, Esther, who learned to open a gate to escape, and after they fixed it, she spent days testing other weak points in the enclosure, like the velociraptors in Jurassic Park, just uglier and wetter. And the greatest proof of your intelligence, you use tools. Seriously, Alligators have been seen balancing sticks on their heads, staying still near heron nests, pretending to be a bunch of floating twigs. When the heron comes to grab the stick for its nest, dinner is served, using bait to hunt. This requires planning, patience, things a dumb log wouldn't do. Does all this intelligence help you, or just screw you over more? Think, you are intelligent enough to understand, maybe not with words, but by instinct, how brutal and senseless your life is. The birth lottery, the cannibalism, the constant struggle, the body full of flaws. Do you have flashes of consciousness about your own misery? Perhaps your intelligence isn't a gift, it's just another burden. The curse of being a philosopher trapped in the body of a log with teeth, contemplating the absurdity of your own horrible existence. Okay, on the inside, you are also a prehistoric mess, and the biggest proof of this is your heart. It even looks fancy. It has 4 chambers, just like ours and birds, which should be a sign of top evolution. Except yours has a bug, a bizarre workaround that evolution's engineers forgot to remove. A shunt. It works like this. Normally, dirty blood without oxygen goes to the lungs to get air, and clean blood goes to the body. Simple. Your heart can perform a useless magic trick. It can take some of the dirty blood and send it straight to the body, skipping the lungs. It's as if the plumbing in your house had an extra pipe that flushes toilet water directly into the clean water tank. What for? For decades, scientists racked their brains. Does it help you stay underwater longer? Does it help with digestion? The most likely answer today is that it serves almost no purpose. They removed this shunt from some alligators in the lab, and they grew up almost normally. It seems it's just legacy code, an old part that evolution never removed because it didn't get in the way that much. But there's a catch. That same study that said the heart shunt was kinda useless discovered something weird. Without the shunt, you become bad at digesting bones. It seems that sending dirtier, more acidic blood to the stomach helps dissolve those turtle shells and deer bones that you swallow whole. So, your heart with messed up plumbing is perhaps a necessary evil. A workaround to compensate for your brutal diet and your terrible habit of not chewing. It's like having a leak in the kitchen pipe that, by accident, helps water the plant in the living room. It makes no sense, but it works, poorly and barely. Your body isn't a system. It's a collection of patches, where one broken piece helps another function in a hobbled way. And speaking of broken systems, remember your super-sensitive face? Those thousands of black dots that feel everything? This is also an internal betrayal. You are an armored tank on the outside, but your face is a delicate sensor that picks up the slightest vibration in the water. In a dirty swamp full of critters, falling branches, rain, this isn't a superpower, it's torture. Imagine feeling every piece of floating trash, every little fish farting, every little wave hitting the bank. It must be sensory noise, deafening, 24 hours a day. You are not a cold, insensitive monster. You are probably a bundle of nerves hidden inside armor, tormented by a face that feels too much and a heart that works wrong, but perhaps helps you digest your lunch. What a marvelous design. There was a time when you were the undisputed king of your swamp, a monster, a force of nature. Native peoples probably respected and feared you. Maybe they even saw you as a powerful water spirit. You were part of the wild, entrenched landscape. But then we showed up and started thinking your swamp would look great with a gated community and a golf course. Your home started to shrink. They drained swamps, built canals, erected houses with pools right where you used to take your digestive naps. And you stayed there. Because where would you go? Your armored log body wasn't made for great migrations. You kept trying to live your alligator life in a world that was turning into a giant human backyard. At first, there was maybe still some respect. People knew the alligator was dangerous. They kept their distance. You were the weird, scary neighbor that nobody messed with. But that peace wasn't going to last, because humans are terrible neighbors for wild animals. And soon you became the problem. Why? Because you kept being an alligator. You sunbathe on the edge of the condo's lake, which was your swamp. You crossed the golf course to get to another pond, which was your river. You sometimes mistake a nice, blue, inviting swimming pool for a good place to relax. Oops. And the human reaction to this? Fear, yes, but mostly annoyance. You became a pest, a nuisance. The nuisance alligator. That's what the government calls you now. And what happens to nuisance alligators? They call the alligator killing squad. Officially, it's the nuisance alligator program. Guys hired to take you away, to relocate you. What a joke. Most of the time, they kill you. Why? Because they make money selling your skin for fancy purses and your meat. Yes, some people eat alligator. Killing is more profitable than taking you for a ride. Think of the final humiliation. You, the alligator mississippiensis, the 65-million-year survivor. Your epic life ends because you decided to take a dip in the wrong pool in a condo they built on top of your home. You are no longer an apex predator. You are a real estate problem to be solved. Your existence has become an item on the condo association meeting agenda. What a glorious end for a living fossil. The years passed, decades perhaps. You survived. You are an old alligator, a grandpa of the swamp. And what does that mean? It means that body, which was already a collection of workarounds, is now truly falling apart. Your armor of bone and leather is still hard, but perhaps a bit more brittle. Your explosive sprints to catch prey are now more puff. You are even slower, heavier getting out of the water. That crushing mouth? Your teeth, which replace themselves, maybe don't grow as fast or as strong anymore. The bite force diminishes. Crushing a turtle shell? Maybe it just cracks it now. Taking down a deer becomes an even more desperate struggle. Hunting gets difficult. You start aiming for smaller, slower prey, or relying more on luck and carrion. And that super-sensitive face of yours? Maybe it's starting to fail too. Or maybe it just irritates you even more with phantom pains. That heart with the messed-up plumbing is probably beating at an even more tired rhythm. Your entire body is on a countdown. You still look like a monster, but inside, you are a relic about to break. This slowness and weakness make you an easy target. Not just for predators, there were few anyway, but now perhaps a more daring black bear might confront you. But mainly for the climate. You, as a reptile, depend on heat to function. Your old body has more difficulty warming up and maintaining its temperature. A cold snap that once just made you sluggish could now kill you. You might just shut down from the cold in the mud. And your social life as a solitary king? It's over. If you were a big, territorial male, now the younger ones challenge you and expel you from the best spots. You are relegated to the deeper, dirtier swamps with less sun, less food. Your only company are the mosquitoes and the loneliness. You don't bellow to defend your territory anymore. Maybe you just grunt softly to scare off a heron. Your life becomes an even slower, more depressing version of that waiting routine. Waiting for the sun, which takes longer to warm you. Waiting for food, which has become harder to catch. Waiting for death, which seems ever closer. You drag yourself through your final days. A armored ghost in your own ruined kingdom. There's no retirement with fishing in the swamp. Just a slow fading of the lights. Ignored by everyone, even the smaller alligators who once trembled in your presence. Your strength is gone. Your fear has perhaps increased. And the end is just a matter of time and bad luck. You are old, tired, and due to some bizarre reason, maybe a ridiculous flood, a truck that took you to the wrong place, or evolution's fury wanting to slap you in the face one more time, you are no longer in the swamps of Florida. You are in the Amazon. Here, you are not the apex predator. Here, you are just an old, slow American alligator in the land of the giants. And one of these giants is about to find you. The hunger pinches, but hunting takes too much energy. Fighting for territory? Don't even think about it. Here, the local alligators, the caimans, smaller and more aggressive, have already expelled you from the best spots. You are hiding on the riverbank, trying to look like a log. Your usual trick. But your eyes don't see as well anymore, and your facial sensors are overloaded with the sounds and vibrations of a much more alive and dangerous forest. You close your eyes for a moment, trying to find a shred of peace in this oppressive environment. But peace for you never lasts. You feel a strange vibration in the water. It's not a fish. It's not a caiman. It's much bigger. Much more massive, much longer and thicker. Yes, it's an anaconda, a giant anaconda, the true monster of the Amazon rivers. And it has seen you, not as a rival, but as an easy prehistoric snack. You try to react. You open your crushing mouth, trying to look threatening. But you are old, slow. Before you can manage a decent bite, the anaconda gives you the hug. And what a hug. It's not quick. It's slow, methodical, squeezing your useless armor of bone and leather. Your brute force is pathetic against the constrictor's muscles. Your heart with the messed-up plumbing is probably already failing from the pressure. You, the alligator mississippiensis, the terror of the American swamps, are being slowly crushed to death by a giant snake in a place you shouldn't even be. Your bones crack. The air no longer enters. Your last sight is the pattern of spots on your assassin, and perhaps the reflection of your own stupid face in the muddy water. Your death is neither quick nor dignified. It's a suffocating, crushing, and profoundly humiliating end. Defeated not by an equal rival, but by being caught off guard in the wrong neighborhood. The living fossil ends as snake stuffing. What an ungrateful little life you've had. Born in a climate lottery, living in fear of your cannibalistic family, with a body full of sensitive workarounds, turning into a pool pest, and dying crushed by a snake on a trip out of season. Your 65 million-year legacy ends as a serpent's lunch.